Okay, so I've had some comments since my last video about how to route stereo audio from Logic Pro back into the Midas console. The only problem with that is when you do all of the steps. Okay, I want to walk you through setting up the stereo outs. What happens with this is, if you can see here, we have a channel. This is normally used for Spotify. It's a media channel. It is a stereo channel on the Midas console. It is channels 29 and 30 on the soundboard itself. Now if we go over to here, we see the stereo out button. We're going to click and hold, and you can see the outputs are all stereo. Now in theory, Logic Pro would assign this channel to whatever output we put them on. Stereo out will automatically send it to channels 1 and 2 on the Midas Venice. In contrast, we can click here on one of the mono channels, and we click and hold, and it will give us stereo outputs, or it will give us mono outputs. So the difference in those channels is actually coming from the Venice. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the stereo out on the media channel, or on the Spotify channel, and we're going to assign it essentially to channels 29 and 30, which is what it should be assigned to on the board. And that's really all there is to that. It's kind of tedious to go through and assign all of the outputs for each individual channel, because you have to make sure that it lines up with whatever channel you're sending to the board. But other than that, it's nothing difficult. The thought that the sound would be coming through exactly where you want it to go, and unfortunately that's not what happens. Midas has said that if everything is routed properly, you should be able to get a good clean sound through the stereo returns. The only problem with that is, on Apple's support website for Logic Pro X, they say that that's not even a possibility. The stereo outs automatically are routed to the number 1 and number 2 stereo out, or number 1 and number 2 outs. So they take up channels 1 and channel 2 on your Midas console, regardless of whether you route them to channels 25 and 26 or anything between that and the 31 and 32. So the problem that we have is it just doesn't work. And it's a problem with the software. Apparently Apple's working on it, but they haven't come up with an update. Second thing is, I got an interesting comment about hotkeys. There are so many hotkeys in Logic Pro that it's crazy. There's so much customization that you can do. For instance, you can go here and you can set up your groups. That way when you hit the record button, you automatically arm all of the channels that are active. You can do that for anything listed here, and it makes it super easy. There are also hotkeys for recording. There's hotkeys for cutting and pasting. Also, there's one for splitting a track. You can look those up, or I can do other videos later on about those. But for now, I just wanted to keep it simple and give an explanation of why you can't route stereo channels back through the board for mixdown. So thank you for watching. If you have any more comments, let me know.